Welcome back, my friends, to another exciting edition of Warp Tuesday. That's right, it is Warp Tuesday, that one and only day of the week where you get to sit down and listen to some guy talk about whatever Star Trek stuff he feels like talking about. Welcome on in, everybody. First off, before we even get into anything, huge, huge thanks to my very good friend Trey, uh, who is now my very good friend for life, Egon Driftwood on YouTube. And I don't even know what to say to Trey other than thank you, because I was just amazed. He asked if he could send something along, and I was thinking, hey, great, maybe a book that I mentioned I needed, or someone drew a silly picture of me or something like that. Perfectly cool things to get, right? But then, what showed up at my door? Look at this. So anyway, there may have been some emotional moments. Listen, real talk. I never, ever, ever, ever in my life would have thought I would get this Lego. Just being truthful with you, I don't have the ability to spend $400 on a Lego for myself. I got three small children. They would be like, "Oh my God, Dad, where's my giant Lego?" Right? I'd be like, "Dude, you have a million Legos, seriously." But I think you get what I'm saying, right? Just it wasn't a possibility. And I've spoken before in the past about Lego. Give me a $50-$60 set so I can get invested in the Star Trek Lego world and not feel like I'm just spending too much on it, right? And I don't know if he heard that or if he just saw the video. Listen, now again, I'm going to share some more stuff too. He shared first in an email that him and his wife enjoy sitting down and watching Warp Tuesday, and that they enjoy the Warp Tuesday intro. Both of those things, those statements, really meant so much to me. I make these videos for myself because I really enjoy sitting here and talking about Star Trek, and I'm delighted. I'm delighted to hear that there are other people out there that are like, I don't know, I guess feeling in the same vein that I am, right? And that when I sit down and talk, it's like I'm sitting down and talking to one of my friends about Star Trek, right? And it's a beautiful thing. So again, I don't know what to say other than thank you. And yes, I have started the Lego, and yes, it is amazing. It is amazing. As you can see, we do have Dr. Crusher and little Wesley Crusher there, of course, with his what was that? The anti-tractor beam or something, like a repulsor beam. But anyway, it's been amazing. I think I've got 4 bags in. It's a total of 30 bags. It's an incredibly large set. Here's the Enterprise so far. Right? Are you right? Yeah. Okay. And again, I'm just enjoying the act of building it as well too, because it makes you slow down. And I'm putting I've got a table set up right here, okay, and I got my camera set up above it, so whenever I'm building, I'm recording it with the hopes of then putting that together and do a time lapse of the Enterprise coming together and being built. So yeah, so that's going to be coming down the pipe. And I'm going to take my time and just kind of build it slowly as time allows. And that's really about all you can do when you're building a Lego too. And you have like a million other things to do. So, thank you. I'll take your trash for you. But yeah, it's amazing, again, just to think that there are people out there, and that's you people who are watching right now, that do sit down and enjoy listening to me talk about Star Trek. So let's get on with it. Anyway, let's get on with it. Oh boy, this excited me too. And I guess I never look at Star Trek from this perspective because I've been in it my whole life. But he mentioned that him and his wife had just started watching Star Trek. And this is not the only person I've kind of come into contact with recently, through one means or another, who is kind of in this situation where they are new to the series. I think he said that he had watched TOS, Enterprise, and I love that. I love the time going in like that version, like timeline order. That's very cool. And it's interesting too. I wonder what kind of perspective that would give to someone coming into that series that way first, right? I like that a lot. But anyway, he is on the on TNG right now, which is of course my favorite, and it's like always in a close battle between TNG and Voyager for me. But TNG always wins out in the end. It's got Frakes, right? Look at this Frakes shirt, right? Look at this. Look at this amazing. I don't even wear this out. I don't wear this out. It's strictly for videos only. I think we got it at a convention or a flea market or something like that. And just the fact that someone made this for this con down up in Cleveland for LaGrange Con back in October of 1992. And it's still looking fresh. We got to keep it fresh, right? Look at that. Look at that, Frakes. Hold on. Interruptions. Hold on. We're going to keep on going. No more interruptions. So anyway, that's, I think, is an interesting perspective just to think about. Because, again, everyone else, who's been with the series for so long, it just kind of is, it is like the order is it is in, right? Bless you.
Is it fun for I go to Tasha's technically room in the neighbor's house?
Yeah, that's fine, buddy. Good kid. I told him to ask before he did anything like that, and there he is asking. So we appreciate that. So anyway, again, it's exciting, and I would like to hear from other people like that too, who are coming into it from this new perspective, right? And man, it made me think of how much they have to look forward to. Like, they are just getting into, for me, what is the absolute peak of Star Trek, right? TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, those three together, those, what are we talking, 21 seasons of television, just like, they left so much room for silly little episodes and character development and side character development and all of these returning characters and these actors who keep showing up in different makeup. I'm looking at you, Jeffrey Combs, right? And it's just, I don't know, it's a beautiful thing. And I could go on about it forever. And I will, because I have a YouTube channel where I talk about Star Trek. And I plan on just to continue to talk about Star Trek forever and ever. Anyway, here we go at almost 9 minutes in. Let's see what is new in the world of Star Trek news. Star Trek news, ladies and gentlemen, we just go to Google, we type in Star Trek news, what's going to pop up? And of course, the top story all around the world of Star Trek news is the puppet episode. The puppet episode. Did anyone out there see the puppet episode? If you haven't seen the puppet episode, I will say, let me give my brief opinion on it now with a big spoiler, okay? So if you don't want to know the spoiler, mute your microphone in 5 seconds, and then when I wave like this, you can unmute it, okay? Okay, now they're all muted and they have no idea what I'm saying. Anyway, the puppet episode. I don't know. I had a weird feeling all throughout watching it, right? I had this weird feeling. But I laughed. I laughed a lot. I laughed at T'Pring's Muppet character. I laughed at... Oh my gosh. Carol Kane's Muppet character was fantastic. I loved that. And here's the big spoiler part. Oh my god, they probably thought I waved. Don't come back yet. Okay, anyway, I didn't wave. I'm glad that it was all a dream in the end, right? I'm glad in the end it was all a dream. Because it was just too out there. And that's coming from someone who liked the musical episode Totally liked it. Anyway, I'm gonna bring everyone back. Come back. Okay. So anyway, no more spoilers about the episode. It made me laugh. There were moments in it that really made me laugh hard. In particular, the T'Pring puppet with the kind of the Miss Piggy scream was fantastic. The slaps were fantastic. But again, and this has kind of been the Strange New Worlds all along. Let's get on with Star Trek. Let's get on with Star Trek. And I watched a little bit of the preview for this week's episode, and I think I can say we're back. We are back. It looks like your classic, hey, the ship is caught in some sort of anomaly. What the heck are we going to do? We've got, 47 minutes to figure this out, gang. Let's get out of here. Now, here's the one thing that I thought would be interesting to see, and let's go back. Let's go back here and actually go to, I think what we like to look at mostly when we're here is, of course, treknews.net, right? This is our number one source here, isn't it? No, this is not even the one we go to normally. Look at this. There ain't even nothing going on here. Back again. Trekmovie.com, right? Where is that at? Look at me. I can't even find that. It's the first one. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Ad blocker will remain on. Thank you. Let's take the news as we can see it. All right. This comic looks cool. I'm excited to get into this one. I gotta make sure that my local comic book store knows I'm definitely interested in this. This comes out in September, and it will be the New Adventures of the Enterprise G. Of course, we're not going to get to see it on the screen, but we'll get to see it there, right? Ooh, episode 406, 9 new photos. We're not going to look at them, right? We're not going to look at them. Suffice it to say, in the trailer, it looked like, again, your classic, Star Trek episode. They're caught in some kind of anomaly. My thought was, and I guess I don't know why, but the episode's called Off Hour. And I was wondering if they would stick to this format that they're doing for each episode, right? Every episode's got to have some kind of theme. What if they did a Star Trek episode in the vein of an episode of 24? That might be pretty interesting. So each minute in the show is a minute of a real time in the episode itself, and I think that could be fairly interesting for an episode, so that might be something. But I think that perhaps that they're just going to be going with a typical episode to kind of bring everything to a close.
Does a banana and a cheese stick count as lunch? And I got this liquid.
Yeah, that's a good lunch, yeah. It was a nice looking liquid he had there too. Okay. We were talking about Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds, like I said, I think, and I wonder, again, I think we talked about this last week too, but was the idea when they got the word that their season 5, they got the word they were canceled, and I don't know if it came at the same time, but they weren't going to be able to make 10 episodes for season 5. So did they then front load season 4 with all of the silliness episodes, right? So that the final 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds would just be intense, full-on Star Trek space adventure that we're kind of, wanting and expecting, with this series. So we'll see. I don't know. I hope so. I truly hope so, because it has been a good show. There's been a lot of kind of ups and downs with the different episodes, and a lot of, I guess, disparity with people saying, I like this one, I definitely didn't like this one. Well, I liked that one, and I think that was kind of the idea too for the series: infinite diversity and infinite combinations, right? But they got 10 episodes left. What are they going to do to close out their series? How are they going to leave their mark on Star Trek, right? And I really hope too that it's not so much of a lead in to the original series, but a real solid ending for the crew that we've got to see for these 4 seasons so far, right? Anyway, next news, we're going to talk about New York Comic Con. All right, when is that? That's in October. Paramount is promising surprise guest stars, and Star Trek Day is coming up. I don't believe there's anything announced for that as far as officially any kind of event or anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but come on, Star Trek 60, what are you doing? Do something. So maybe at the biggest Comic Con here, kind of before the end of the year, another announcement possibly could be made. Let's see. They didn't make it into the top 10. I don't know. Does anyone even care about that anymore? I don't think so. Yeah, not a lot more news. I would love to get back into this Last Starship comic. And, I mean, it's been very interesting. I think I read the first couple, and then I missed a couple in there. But it's been a very fun read so far. So we want to get back into that for sure. We got to stop back by the comic book store. But that looks to be all of the kind of latest news that is news out there in the world of Star Trek, right? Let's see, local news in the world of Star Trek. We are going to finish this fantastic book, A Singular Destiny. I would say probably either tonight or tomorrow night. And it's just been a blast. It's, again, I love reading a Star Trek novel which feels like a Star Trek episode. It's a great, and that's kind of what got me into reading the novels in the first place, getting those kind of lost episode vibes, right, when you're reading. This is like I'm getting to see a different side of the Star Trek world, right? So this is centering on a civilian and kind of his duties, helping to kind of clean things up after the Destiny trilogy. And there's a lot going on, and it's a lot of fun. And like I said, looking forward to finishing that up and having a very, very good talk about that when we come back. Man, there was more that I wanted to talk about too. Oh, this was fantastic. I love this. My son, as he's been kind of getting ready for bed at night, he's been putting on a little bit of Star Trek. And then I love this. He came out the other night as he was watching. I think he had Voyager on. And he came out and he was like, "Dad, I got to tell you, Star Trek is peak." And then he went on to start ranking some of his things. And it made me, basically it gave me an idea for a future video where, like, someone like my son comes to me and is like, what is this Star Trek thing? Why do you like it so much? And then I'm just like, boom, and I just go. Words flying out of my mouth at warp speed. Anyway, that's something I've been thinking about too, and I think that would be pretty fun. And I'm kind of stalling and stretching for time here because I surely did have one other point that I wanted to discuss this Warp Tuesday, and I will be honest with you, it has warped right out of my mind. Truly has. No! I remembered. Yes! Okay, so let's finish up Warp Tuesday. What are your plans for Star Trek Day? Do you have plans for Star Trek Day? Of course, Star Trek Day is computer. What is Star Trek Day?
Star Trek Day is celebrated every September 8th, marking the 1966 U.S. premiere of the original series pilot The Man Trap. Fans honor the franchise's 60-year legacy with screenings, themed events, and special content. Want to know how fans around the world celebrate Star Trek Day?
No, thank you.
Got it. Josh.
Anyway, that's Star Trek Day. It's coming up September 8th. How are you going to celebrate? My friend and I, we're both going to take the day off of work. We are going to head up to Toledo early in the morning. We're going to watch Star Trek all day long. All day long. We might, all right, If you don't know, they are doing a screening at certain cinemas where they're doing an episode of Star Trek before a movie. So I think it's The Changeling before the motion picture, Space Seed before The Wrath of Khan, something before The Search for Spock, and The City on the Edge of Forever before The Voyage Home. Come on. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. In theaters, surrounded by your fellow Star Trek fans, watching hours upon hours of Star Trek, and only doing that for a day, with an intermission to go have some delicious food somewhere nearby. Sounds like a dream come true. So anyway, that's what I've got going on, and I encourage everyone out there who, can get out there and do that, because it's something that is, you're not going to get to do that very often. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. Final shout out of thanks to Egon Driftwood for the huge gift. Again, it made me feel amazing, and just again, I can't say thank you enough. So thanks again, and thank you all for watching. As always, my friends, live long and prosper, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.